Welcome back to the review space. In this video we take a look at the sealed carded figure, action figure from the mid-90s. This is a Reboot figure. Check that out. Can you believe that? I found this at Winners. That's right, Winners earlier this year, just a couple of months ago actually. I've been meaning to review this, do a video here on YouTube. I couldn't believe my eyes when I found this at freaking Winners. Winners is basically this I don't know, it's a clothing store, but they also sell some action figures here and there. I've actually bought quite a few figures from there, but this is the biggest find ever. When I saw this at Winners, I was like, holy crap, I couldn't believe it. This was an amazing find. And it kind of surreal, because Reboot is a TV show from the mid-90s, and it didn't really make any sense aside from the fucking, aside from the fact that they've had 90s resurgence in this decade. You know, you see old Power Rangers toys coming back and stuff like that, so a lot of 90s stuff came back, and so Reboot, somehow they have a figure available, Hexadecimal. So let's take a closer look at this figure right now. Okay, hold on. Hopefully there's not a lot of glare in the figure. I remember I made the DVD Blu-ray video, and I like the video itself, but it's just there was a lot of glare in that one. The lighting was way too glary. But anyway, so this is a phenomenal sealed copy. I'm not gonna open this. There's just no way. I'm not gonna do an unboxing or unwrapping or whatever. I'm gonna keep this sealed. Look how awesome this is. This is just so dope. It's Hex. I just couldn't. I was marking out. I saw this at Winners. I'm just like, oh my god! Why is it back? Let's take a look at the back. At the back side, it says 1995 Reboot, 1995 mainframe joint venture. All rights reserved. Reboot is a brand name of mainframe joint venture and other character names and a distinct likeness, registered trademark, etc. Distributed by Irwin Toy, Niagara Falls, New York, made in China. They even have a little like look for Reboot on home video. In home video they mean VHS. Irwin from Irwin Toys. Does Irwin Toys even exist anymore? The Irwin company? I remember them in the 90s. The fact that this exists, again, I can't wrap my head around it. Look how awesome Hexadecimal. Her design is just phenomenal. She's basically a female character from the show, and the show itself is basically about a bunch of people living in a computer. They call it mainframe, and these sprites, I guess you could call them sprites, and they're basically living characters inside this computer. And the idea is that one of these characters, Hexadecimal, is a freaking she's a virus. She's an enemy, basically. She's one of the villains in the TV show, and she's there to pose a threat to the main characters. So overall, a really nice design in terms of like the actual packaging. I love the blue computer kind of like the inner workings of a computer chip in the background. You got the Reboot insignia logo. Collectible action figures comes with 4 expressive interchangeable masks, and they have a delete disc included. A delete disc, whatever the hell that is. I guess that must be this circular thing over here at the top right. I don't know, but Hex looks pretty badass. It's very 90s, like as far as the packaging too, because it's like the Spawn figures that I reviewed many years ago, back in like early 2012 when I found them. The 90s Spawn action figures, they basically jut out. They stick out like this. It's just a basic plastic packaging like that, encasing it, so you can see from the sides and the angles. The top side, the figure is basically in this see-through plastic, and it's just poking out like this. So this was basically like 95 packaging from the mid-90s. So the storyline of the Reboot TV series, I already mentioned it before, but like, welcome to our world, the world inside Mainframe City. Enzo and his sister Dot and Bob, the Guardian, all live here along with other computer sprites. Mostly it's a mega binary place to file serve. It's a mega binary place to file serve, except for the few nasty virus types known as Megabyte and Hexadecimal. Incoming games from the user can appear at any time and anywhere, And when they do, you better be ready to reboot or run your escape sequence. So a lot of like mid-90s computer bullshit, like they're really trying to play up the computer aspect of it. You got computer viruses and stuff. This was back in the early 90s when they had like a lot of those terminology were still around, like having a computer virus, rebooting, binary, sprites. These were very novel terms and terminologies and like computer internet lingo and slang. I'm surprised they didn't use, like Matrix, the word Matrix itself. The main character is known as Dot Matrix and Bob Matrix. Or, Enzo. Is it Enzo? Okay, now I'm fucking forgetting. Is it Bob Matrix? Is it Dot Matrix? Okay, I'm starting to forget the character's name. Somebody was named Matrix. One of them had a last name that was Matrix. But anyway. Over there, bottom left, it's $9.99, so I bought it for $10. Only $10 at frickin' Winners, man. What a deal. I would not even know how much this costs, like, on eBay. If I look this up online, if I try to buy it on eBay or Amazon or something like that, I wouldn't even know how much this costs like this as a sealed package, sealed copy. Maybe a little bit more, maybe $20 or $30 or something like that. Who knows? But it doesn't really matter. This is like an amazing find. I don't intend to resell this. This is like the holy grail in my figure collection. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. You guys know I got a bunch of figures. I bought a bunch of figures since then, since like 2012, when I started reviewing figs. Actually, I think it was 2011. 2011 was when I started reviewing figs. That was what my channel was about, but in the past like 5.5 years, this is like the illest thing I've ever fucking found. Like, this is... It's because it's so weird. It's like a mid-90s figure out of nowhere. You find it at this modern store. It's like the 90s coming back for some odd... Even at when I was buying it, you know what I mean? When I was paying for it at the checkout, I talked to the register. I was like, you guys have 90s figures? Like, what the hell's going on? They're like, I don't know. Like, it's over there. It's available. Like, I can't believe it. But and there's some of the other characters on available. You got Hack and Slash. They were basically kind of like the R2-D2 type of guys. They were like droids. But they were on the side of the bad guys. They were on the side of Megabytes. They were Megabytes' underlings. Hexadecimal, of course, is the sister to Megabyte, so she's like she's a virus. She's colored red, so typical action figure color. Everybody has a bright color, bright red, bright blue. Red, blue, yellow. A lot of yellow as well. And then the main characters, a couple of the main characters are green, and Bob himself, who is the main character. He's the protagonist. He's colored blue. He's got blue skin and silver hair for some reason. Yeah, it's like when the show began in the mid-90s, so 94, 95, whenever the show started. I think it was 95. And the first couple of seasons, it really wasn't much of a show. It was just kind of a basic show, these guys having adventures. But later on in the series, it started to get a little bit darker and a little bit more mature-oriented. And that was pretty cool, because what happened was the characters started becoming cool. It was like the Attitude Era coming in. It was very late 90s presentation, a lot more dark, a lot more serious. There was like killing. People got killed in the series, which didn't really happen before, but people started dying and stuff like that, and getting hurt. And Enzo, I think his eyeball got like taken out at one point because Bob ended up getting he got suckered out of the game. So anyway, here at the back you got instructions. You can remove Hexadecimal's mask to change her expression. Choose one of 4 masks to change her mood. And with the Hexadecimal character, Hexadecimal, try saying that like 6 times in a row, really fast. Hexadecimal, I'm tripping over my words. But with Hexadecimal, her character is that she's a virus queen. She's an evil character or a villain or whatever, but she has a thing for the main character, Bob. She's got a crush on him or something like that. Throughout the show, she's always hitting on Bob. She's always trying to hit on him and like, hey Bob, you like my tits or something like that. You know what I mean? And as far as her face, yeah, her face is, her gimmick is that she's wearing these masks, almost like the comedy drama mask, like the actors' masks. And she's got different facial expressions. So she would swipe it over her face, and it would be different. Swipe it again, she'd be smiling. Swipe it again, she'd be angry. Swipe it again, and she would look surprised or something like that, or sad, or whatever facial expressions. So in the show, throughout most of the show, I think, maybe in the later part of it, she ended up having actual facial expressions. But at the beginning, she was very gimmicky, and that was her fucking thing. She would swipe it a lot. I don't know, it's just an overall like really sweet figure, really cool find. I can't even believe it. I've been rambling about it for a few minutes now, and it's an awesome find. It's got to be the coolest figure I've ever freaking seen, because it's a part of my childhood. And this is my favorite figure out of the bunch. I love the Hexadecimal character. She's great. It's a female fig. I prefer female figs a bit more, because they're a lot more they're different. They're not your typical, you know, they're not as common as the male figures, and I just like the design. It's really cool. She's got a cool looking design. Her head dress, or whatever the hell, her helmet or whatever, looks badass. So this is a totally badass figure for sure. There's no doubt about it. I can't get enough of this figure. Awesome. Awesome stuff. This is from the mid-90s again. 1995 Reboot, founded in 2016. Fucking 21 years later, can you, over 2 decades, somehow it's available at the frickin' store. The only one I've seen so far at Winners, but what a weird, odd find, but a great surprise as well. So, alright, so that's it for this episode of The Review Space. Thank you for watching. Check out the channel for more videos, reviews, top 10s, etc. Subscribe and all that good stuff, and until next time, peace.